Hi everyone, I'm CJ, and today I will be talking to you about how communication and media has affected my own community. First of all, media and communication may have different meanings to different individuals. For this story time, I would want to define media in the context of the various means of communications we use. More specifically, the television, our mobile gadgets, and the social networking sites. And communication as how we interact and build relationships. Now that we are on the same page of this discussion, I would like to ask you a few questions. Picture out the neighborhood you live in. Do you know each other? Do you know who lives in which house? Do you greet or talk to each other? Do you have parties, fiestas, or hang out at each other's house? My community is quite interesting. I live in a neighborhood where the streets are built with intimidating houses, silent and unkind. People who live here are living comfortably since most of them are well off. Everyone has stable connection, have access to television, and even radios. They have no problems at all in terms of scarcity of information. They have all the means to see what is happening and to gather information whenever they want. The media in general is very accessible to them. In terms of interaction, every household keeps to themselves. They may see each other from their front yards or when getting out of the house, but they never talk. We don't know each other's names, we never socialize or try to know each other. Everyone is inside their homes all the time. Generally, everything is quiet in our neighborhood. However, silence is also a form of communication. And because I have been living here for a long time, it isn't hard to notice that people living here give off this vibe of not wanting to do anything with each other, which is sad. So in conclusion, my neighbors and I are awkward and may as well be non-existent to each other. In connection to these, I would want to bring up an idea by Professor Chetan Bamar. He is a specialist in the effects of social media and communication. He said that, so, what does this mean? It means that media has become our social reality. We may no longer talk to people, we may no longer initiate discourses, ask for ideas, or interact with them face to face. We can watch the news anytime, watch videos to feed our curiosity on things. We can have conversations with people online, read their opinions and insights on their social accounts, get to know more about them on their profiles and the pictures they upload of their daily lives on social media. We also have the freedom in giving any comment on the issues we see. Media has affected the way we think, assume, believe, and look at things. It is difficult to imagine the world without media at this point. As suggested by Ryan Tate, a senior writer, there is a prominent line of thinking that the media, specifically the internet, has weakened our emotional ties and friendship by encouraging us to communicate in isolation. Personally for me, whenever I walk home from school, I see people my age immediately putting on their earphones or looking at their phones whenever we walk past each other. And it's so ironic that experts and studies say that humans naturally crave for connection, but instead, we use our phones to avoid small talks with people we meet on the streets. We have everything in our small screens, our phones. So in the end, maybe it's not about my neighborhood not wanting to communicate because we dislike each other. Mark Dunkelman, a policy fellow at Brown University, also suggests that maybe just because there isn't a necessity to reach out and build connection with the people living nearby. In the past, people were close and connected to their neighbors because they couldn't avoid it. They couldn't get along without it. It's not about making a conscious decision to not talk and avoid your neighbors at all. People just choose to prioritize their time on spending alone and surfing the internet, or perhaps talk to people online without seeing them face to face. We must acknowledge the fact that media is a driving force to these changes we experience in our communities and something as small as our own neighborhood. But how do we take control? How do we use these things without drowning in them? If you live in a neighborhood similar to mine, the next time you get out of your house, try to reach out to the people living near you. Introduce yourself, get to know them, or just smile and wave at them. Who knows, you might make a friend and maybe next time, you'll have something else to look forward to when you come home. Living comfortably, ba't di ko maalala? People who reside here are living comfortably. It's so ironic that social networking sites.
Bakit kinaganyan?